This video is brought to you by Vampiro Apparel for all things ghouls, goblins, and gothic. Get your clothes now. Link in bio.
So who's here at the 312?
Oh my god, that's awkward. I'm so sorry. What's up? It's your boy Slack in the Soup. Today we're looking at UFC Fight Night. Gregory Rodriguez versus Jared Cannonier. Yeah. Let's just go over the big elephant in the room, man.
My guy went out pretty sad yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was gonna be 5 rounds of war, but it was just 5 rounds of AFK. A lot of standing and jabbing. I will be telling you now, the Sean Cope is hitting more harder than anything that I've ever dealt with ever.
The Sean Cope.
But it's okay. We'll take those L's like a man and continue on. Oh. We'll see him at the Apex very soon. Drake is totally...
Yo, Drake is beat the fuck up.
Bro. He said to the death, Drake has said bet. I never seen man just walk up on Sean like that and just gave him the work. Like,
oh my god.
He definitely showed improvement from a whole year.
What? Dude.
That was a fraud check if I ever seen one.
Oh my god, that was fucking hilarious. So let's get to it, man. So
let's get into it. But let's just
recap.
Get out of this.
Let's just quickly recap the fights. So DDP improved. Last fight they had was a stand-up or split decision. This one was just all DDP. So he's obviously improving. Hamzat Chimaev is next. That's no question there. He's not fighting Alex.
I seen the interesting post coming in from this a couple hours ago, just saying Alex Pieta said that if DDP continues to reign and he wins his match against Magomed Ankalaev, they can possibly see the super match. And honestly, if they want to do that, 205 is the comfort weight for both of them. I say go for it.
I say do it. He can go wherever he wants to, man.
Very weird styles going on there, but hey,
we'll get there when we get there for that one. So DDP is definitely improving. Like I said, he's possibly the middleweight GOAT. Tatiana, she had cancer before. This is pretty awesome for her side, even though she got dominated. Having cancer and then having a title fight's pretty cool. I mean, Tatiana, she has so much to improve on. Still pretty early her MMA career. 11-1.
It just shows that a little bit of time away from the cage really makes an impact. But we're very happy that she made it through her process and got the chance to even go for the belt.
Yeah,
let that be a lot of motivation for a lot of people that want to be fighters.
Izzy and Kelvin Gastelum, their fight got inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's pretty awesome to see. I like how Izzy is finally getting that credit for that fight. That fight's a classic. That's pretty awesome.
Definitely, from defending his belt multiple times to having great fights with Kevin Gastelum. All around his career is just honorary. He should be inducted to the Hall of Fame anytime soon.
Absolutely, man. I mean, yeah, he should be inducted to Hall of Fame soon, right?
Yeah.
So 314 is going to be in Miami. Both Michael Chandler and Patty Pimblett said they have a fight. I think they're going to fight each other. It makes way too much sense not to. Strickland is boring as fuck. I think I came up with that conclusion last night. It's just not fun to watch, especially when you pay $80 for a fucking pay-per-view. It's like, come on, you promise a war and then you give us slop. It's like you're just selling us on the dream at this point. You know what I mean?
But I will say, last night, those fights were definitely underrated. Those people were thinking that this pay-per-view was going to be nothing but boring fights. No, we got a lot of impressive fights from very underwhelming fighters.
Is Zhang Wei Li over Nunes for GOAT status? Like, what does she have to prove now?
I think that she just should go for the bullet. Valentina Shevchenko. Like, that fight is a super fight. They're both in their high tier of their skill aspects. Could be great for the sport.
Yeah, them coming together to possible double champ status for Zhang Wei Li I think that would be over Nunes.
Yeah, and that would just solidify her as GOAT status. But as I see it right now, she is in a debate for the GOAT status.
Absolutely, man. I think her 2 losses were to Rose Namajunas. Mm-hmm. Rose is kind of on a decline right now, and Zhang Wei Li has definitely improved so much. So I don't know. I just think that this is definitely like Zhang Wei Li's time. She's made some great improvements. Mm-hmm. I can't wait to see what she does in the future, man. Gio, let's address the press, man. So we kind of talked about just now how Sean Strickland didn't perform well. We got some people saying it wasn't a headbutt. So let's roll the clip.
It was a fucking headbutt. But even if it wasn't, it doesn't fucking matter because it's not going to happen again.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one whining about it the whole time. I'll give him the benefit. Sure, I headbutted him. I don't care. It's a fight.
Yeah, Gio. So
Listen, I was watching these press conferences. I was wrapping up and just looking at everything that was coming to fruition, coming into this fight, and I can 100% agree that was a headbutt. We seen the fight happen last night. We seen 2 low hits from Dracus and then an eye poke, which Sean dismissed all 3, and then proceeded to still lose.
Hey, the copium's hard, Gio. Hey, anyway, let's get past this fight, man. I mean,
but I just congratulations to Dracus. He definitely did show improvement within a year. I definitely give him the respect. That unorthodox striking really took him farther than what anyone else expected from him. It's
just crazy to see how DDP style. Like I did some training and things like that, and there's just something that Dracus does that I literally cannot predict at all, bro. Like
he says it's his survival instincts, and I agree.
I think that's probably the best way to explain his fighting style is survival instincts. Like just fighting very instinctual.
It's very a real world scenario because you are literally fighting for your life in that cage.
I think he's like, yo, fuck technique, but I'm going to find a way to whip your ass.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He's a look-see-do fighter, if you want to keep it 100.
Yeah.
Tafa, let's talk about that real quick. Is he getting cut?
Listen, if they don't do him like they did Giorgino Rosenstrike, I would be totally baffled because
that'd be crazy, right?
You did not just get hype up this fight just to get elbowed in your nose and just drop instantly. You should have went out more in your shield. You were in a ball getting dominated.
He got fucked up.
and to put things worse, you got put in a segment. If you don't know, now you know. If you didn't know about those segments, then you know he was gonna go out.
Yo, that's fucked up. Yo, Dana did him dirty as fuck.
Yeah, like Dana put him in the deep.
He said, "If you don't know, now you know, bro."
If you don't know, now you know. And we know that this guy is 6'4", 6'6", and a lot of skill behind him. Like, props go out to him.
Yeah, shout out to Sheriff, man.
I knew he was going to get that one heading into that.
And the last one here is Jake Matthews making a comeback. Dude, he put a clinical last night. That was awesome.
I loved seeing his performance. It was just showing that even with that time away and all the stuff that he was going through, that you can just still come back in your prime and just show experience can do for a fighter.
That veteran experience is way too much. I want to see him go up more in competition, man. I think he got it in the bag, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I would
give
love
him
to
like
see him
another
again
unranked
soon.
opponent. If he does the same thing again, give him a ranked opponent and let him just kind of make his way up again.
See how that goes. Yeah.
All right, so Gio, we do got some fights coming up. Just a couple here. I got 3 fights I want to go over. We got Yusuf Zalal versus Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar, he's 23-8, 11 KOs, 2 submissions on a 3-fight loser streak. His last 5 fights were Aljamain Sterling by unanimous decision, Arnold Allen by KO in round 2, Josh Emmett split decision loss. He beat Giga Chikadze in 2022 by unanimous decision, and then he got beaten by Holloway via unanimous decision. He lost 4 of his last 5. Is Calvin Kattar on this decline, or has his competition just been so elite?
I think his competition has been so elite because he's facing against former champions. He's just being put to this test every time he gets out there to see how much endurance that he can really withhold in each fight that he gets into.
Yeah, because now he's fighting Yusuf Zalal. He's an unranked opponent, 16-5, 1 no contest. He has 4 wins by KOs, 9 wins sub, 1 draw, obviously, and he has 6 first-round finishes. He's coming off 3 submissions in a row. Here's some keys to victories, man. It's really simple. Calvin is a boxer, very boxing-centric
very
fighter. Calvin's fun to watch, and he has the veteran experience as well, which Zalal doesn't have yet. This is like Zalal's like big test.
This is his push.
Absolutely, and honestly, I can see Calvin kind of breaking Zalal if he just keeps it on the feet this whole time. Now, with Zalal, he needs to do the complete opposite. He needs to get the takedowns and really make Calvin break and get the submission win. He's gonna come off the momentum, and then obviously Calvin Kattar has a chip on his shoulder. Like, lost 4 of my last 5. Like, this is
with Aljamain really grappling him, putting
That
his grapple to the test.
Yeah.
So now he's probably gonna want to train his training camp for that fight coming up with him.
If he stuffs those takedowns, this is the easy Calvin Kattar masterclass coming up, and he's back in the conversation again. But don't stand with Calvin. Calvin's too good on the feet. Just try to get on the floor, clinch work, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard beating Aljamain. It's hard beating guys like Arnold Allen, Josh Emmett. Like, come on.
Yeah,
like,
the power hands.
This is hard.
These are strong hitters in this division. Yes.
But yeah, I think Calvin. I think he's gonna get this win for sure. I think it's his time to kind of. I think this is kind of his make or break. Like I said, chip on the shoulder type fight for him. I got Calvin by late stoppage.
I have Zolal. Maybe if he gets hurt, he'll just rely on his grappling, maintain hold spaces, and just maybe squeeze out a decision at the end. So I'm going with Zolal for a decision. This is a make or break, double-edged sword type of sport. You can go in with everything, but you can come out with nothing.
This fight upcoming is really fun. We have Ismail Bonfim versus Sadikov. 20-4 for Ismail Bonfim. Is coming off 9 wins by KO, 4 wins by submissions, 6 first-round finishes. This is his 3rd fight in the UFC. If you guys don't know, Ismail Bonfim is the one who knocked out Terrence McKinney with the flying knee. Halle real KO. You know, he's a really talented fighter. Ismail won 4 of his last fights. He has a walk-off KO, like I said, against Terrence McKinney. He's coming off a unanimous decision win against Vic Pichel, and he got submitted by Benoit Saint-Denis in 2023. And then his opponent Sadikov is 9-1. Only loss is his first ever pro MMA fight.
But we just realized bro had to lock in. Like, his very first loss was a rear naked choke, and from that point he just made it a whole thing to not lose again. Which is really funny because he ended up getting a rear naked choke later with one of his wins.
So for sure, Sadikov, like I said, he had to lock in for a man.
Yeah, like after
he fucking locked
loss,
in. Let's say how it is.
9 straight.
9 straight.
His recent matches being a draw with Slava Claus.
Yeah, Slava Claus is his only draw he has, and we all know. We just watched him fight last night. He's hard to put away.
He got heart like a dog, and he's
hard to beat.
Yeah, he's really hard to beat.
This is his 4th fight in the UFC, and he's from Dana White's Contender Series. And as Gio knows, like, Dana White's Contender Series, they just breed a bunch of fucking killers.
Yeah, most of the people that come out of Dana White Contender Series turn out to hold a belt or just be some sort of superstar during their career.
Yeah, Sadikov also beat Terrence McKinney by finish as well. He submitted him. Like I said, he's on 9-fight winning streak. He had a draw against Slava Claus. His only loss was in 2018, his very first pro MMA fight. He's coming off of all 5 finishes. His last 5 fights, except for the one with Slava Claus. So he has 4 finishes in a row besides the one with Slava Claus. I got some paths to victories here for Ismail Bonfim and Sadikov. So like I said, Ismail needs to avoid these takedowns and use his speed advantage to pace the fight. And Sadikov needs to just get this fight on the ground and just look for that another submission win. It's not really that hard. This is a pretty good all-around fight for both of them. Very winnable fight. I think it's going to be exciting as well. Might be a fight of the night as well. Ismail's fun to watch. He can end the fight at any given point in time, and so can Sadikov. This is a good fight for both of them.
Yeah, boxing versus freestyle. I love those type of dynamic fighting clashes. It just shows who's better on the hand and who's better all around.
Yeah, for sure. I got Sadikov winning by a late stoppage as well. I think he's going to weather the storm with Ismail with the speed and end up securing those takedowns. This dude's coming off a lot of momentum. 9-1, 9-fight winning streak from the end of the Contender Series. I just really see Sadikov really edging out this, either a decision or he's getting the submission. He's coming off a lot of wins by finishes, so he's not going to stop.
Yeah, why stop him when he if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Absolutely. I agree as well. Last fight I want to go over, obviously, is the fun fight. Jared Cannonier, ranked number 7, 17-8. Plus 170 for this fight. 10 KOs, 2 submissions, 7 first-round finishes. He won 2 of his last 5. He got KO'd by Imavov. His last finish was in 2022 against Derek Brunson, who fights in the PFL now. And his last fight he had was against Kyle Borhayo, the leader of the Fight Nerd. That got fight of the night, and he lost by unanimous decision. Jared is very talented. Very kickboxing centric type of fighter. Power shot heavy. He likes to take his time with his shots too, which can backfire on him. But his opponent here, Gregory Rodriguez, 16-5, minus 205, 10 wins by KO, 3 wins by submission, 7 first-round finishes, the same as Jared Cannonier. He won 4 of his last 5 by all KO. He has a 100% takedown defense as well. His last win was against Chris Duncan, July 27, 2024. So, Gio, what's your initial thoughts on the main event?
I like Jared Cannonier. It's just that he's going through a rough time right now. He's facing potential champion Kyle Brahalio. We see him being in the top 5 very soon. Nasadir Imavov, which came out of a win against Israel Adesanya not a couple weeks back ago. Like this guy's facing champions to come. It's pretty much he's the gatekeeper right now. And these people are getting through that fence. So for Gregory, I've been watching him. RoboCop, he's amazing. I'm a fan of him myself. He looks like Obama. But what's there not to love about him? He's good with that clinch and he's good with the ground. I think he can take Jared in places that he never been before.
Absolutely. So I got some strengths for Jared Cannonier. I want to go over them.
Sure.
Like I was saying earlier, he got some strong power. He has like legitimate one-punch KO ability as well.
Yeah.
He has great kickboxing, patient with his striking. His leg kicks are a great weapon to set up the strikes for up top. And he's very durable. He's never reckless with his punching as well. Like, he doesn't just swing for the love of swinging, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's not a reckless fighter at all, which is an issue, but we'll get to it later. He also has some great takedown defense, right? The issue we have with Jared, right? It's really the lack of activity he's had within the fight, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's not outputting as much as he's dishing out.
It's like he wants to be the counter striker with this. When he counters, he wants to put everything in it just to finish the fight.
That's what I was getting ready to say. He relies on his power shots a lot. If they're not landing, he's having trouble really finishing these fights. And his grappling isn't great either.
Yeah.
So this needs to be on the feet for him to actually win the fight.
This is the thing I noticed with Jared Cannonier. You never see him in a position like, oh, he's on his back. How can he defend himself or anything like that? This is like pretty much, if you see him on the ground, you're just going to see him struggling. I never seen him on the ground where he was dominant at.
Yeah. That's kind of where I struggle with too. Usually he has to hurt them first.
Yes, and then go
and
for
then
that
go
finish.
for the finish on the ground.
Yeah.
Like how he did with Derek Brunson.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go over some good strengths for Gregory Rodriguez now. Like I said, he got some heavy hands, very strong striking base, KO ability, as you guys already seen. Uses uppercuts in the straights very well. He's also a BJJ black belt, which is going to be key in this fight as well. He's durable. He has gotten knocked out before, don't get it wrong, but he's durable to fight.
Everyone's not superhuman. There's very real world aspects. He has been knocked out before.
Yeah, he has a kill or be killed mentality, which can be
it can be the double-edged sword. Like, we've seen plenty of times when he got his head busted open through the eyebrow. He got hit too many times.
He came back and won that fight. So.
That just shows the true grit and the dog in him.
And like I was getting ready to say, he works well in the clinch, using the body locks, things like that. So it's a kind of a toss-up fight for this one. Jared, like I said, losing 4 of his last 5. It's not looking that good for his career trajectory. He really needs to win a lot. This is kind of a striking battle in a way. I say it's a power versus an aggressive style. Let's go over some paths to victories here for Jared Cannonier. He needs to be careful. Simple as is, right? Easier said than done, right? Be careful.
He said, yeah, I couldn't agree more on that.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, but he needs to use his counters and punish the aggressive movement of Rodriguez.
Be ready for the tie clinch. Be ready for the takedown attempts, and just land more in the pocket without giving yourself too much up. We've seen plenty of times where he swings, overcommits, and he pays the price for it.
Also, he needs to use his leg kicks. Use the overhand right counter. It can be there for him any day of the night. And don't be too passive and then believing your power as well. Like Jared, he cannot freeze up like how he did in the Izzy fight or the Kyle Brahalio fight. He needs to be active. He needs to throw the punches first.
Yeah.
And then counter off their punch, things like that. There's been too many times where he'll let someone just wail on him and then they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and he just hopes for that chance for a counter.
Yeah. And Jared can't do nothing about it because he can't counter him. He can't find that shot. But if he's more aggressive in this fight, I feel like he can get it done.
Yeah.
For Rodriguez, obviously, it's landing those power shots. You got to bait and be patient as well. No need to rush into this fight because I'm sure Jared's going to bank on you rushing forward and pressing the action. And he's going to try to find the counter shot.
Especially his last two opponents being aggressive fighters.
Rodriguez is a BJJ black belt, man. You got to use that in this fight. The guy you're fighting is so fucking strong, and he can catch you in those moments if you're too aggressive.
Yeah,
so
suppress
mix it up for him.
Yeah, suppress it. Stay close.
Yep.
Make sure you hold him up. Make sure he can't use his strength to wear him down.
Yep. And like I was saying, get on the inside, use those clinch, get the biolocks in there, tire him out, make him feel your weight on you. Let's go over some predictions, man. Gio, what do you have to say about that?
I have actually two type of things that's running through my head when I think about this. I think of if Cannonier can manage to get through it, it'll be by decision. But I primarily want to go with Gregory going with the TKO, or at least a KO by stoppage in round 3 or 2.
Yeah. I don't know. If it goes to Cannonier's direction, I can definitely see a KO from Cannonier, putting on a vintage performance.
Yeah.
He's training actively. Doesn't seem like he's lazy or anything. Or I don't know. I'm gonna share myself. If Cannonier does win, I do think it's gonna be by KO. It doesn't seem like Cannonier is like not taking it serious. Like he's still in the gym. He's still in physical shape. You know.
Yeah.
Like, he's not lazy or anything.
Yeah.
I think he's just been having a string of bad fights. And if he exploits Gregory Rodriguez's lack of head movement, that can be a factor as well. Yeah. And for Rodriguez, he needs to pressure early and mix in the takedowns. Like I said, BJJ black belt, that's a very good sign of good mix between the two.
Yeah.
And Gregory punches hard, man. This can definitely be in his favor if it gets in the inside as well.
We could definitely see a decision. We could see a knockout, but all I can say is this is going to be fight of the night, 100%.
You guys know what time it is. It's 5 rounds with Gio. We're going to go over 5 potential matchups for the UFC. And have Gio give us predictions. Gio, we'll make this short and sweet. I'm going to give you 2 fighters. Tell me how it goes. Let's go. Paddy Pimblett, Michael Chandler, UFC 314 in Miami.
Paddy Pimblett with a good submission over Bobby Green, and Michael Chandler going through a long war with Charles Oliveira. I'll go with Paddy Pimblett by submission.
I like that a lot. Hamza Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis.
After Drake is a major improvement in a year, sorry, the hater is still in me.
Oh.
Okay. Honestly, if you give it to me when it comes to DDP and Hamza, if you give him another year, I could see him beating Hamza. If you could shut down that takedown like Gilbert Burns did, anything is possible.
I got Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian Nightmare, moving up to 185 to challenge Sean Strickland for a second time.
If his knees can handle it, I'll give it to Usman.
Next fight, I got Alex Poatan Pereira versus John Bones Jones.
You want to know who my pound-for-pound fighter is? Islam Makhachev. I got Alex Prieto winning that.
5th and final round, Gio, I have Dustin versus Max Holloway 2. New Orleans, guys.
Sean Bright like a diamond, and Dustin got to represent one more time at his home place just to win that over Max Holloway, because Ilya Taporia showed that he's also human. I respect both of them, but I got to give it to Dustin.
I kind of agree with that. All right, guys, it's been real. Slacking the soup for another MMA casual talk show.
I want to take the time to do honorable mentions. I want to take the time to give my honorable mentions to Tatiana's Warriors for battling cancer and making sure that she shows motivation and true skill, and show that if you go through the most darkest times, you can still go for the belt. Israel Adesanya and Kevin Gastelum for putting on Total War that went to the Hall of Fame. 2 men that's willing to provide and give anything they want for their family and themselves. And my last honorable mention is for the people that watched the event last night, because you guys are the true MVPs. And if it wasn't for us, this sport wouldn't be a thing.
Absolutely. That's a beautiful thing, guys. It's been real. Slacking the soup. We'll be back next week to cover Sung Yadong versus Henry Triple C Cejudo.
We got a lot of fun fights in there.
Man, fuck Henry Cejudo. I'm going to be the first to say that shit. Very important fight for both fighters. Man, fuck Henry Cejudo, man. What a fucking loser, man.
Cringe.
Triple fucking cringe, man. What kind of... Bill to fight my ass, bro. This motherfucker just racist as fuck. Oh, my God. Anyway, I'm going to call it a day.
Just mainly make sure you tune in next week when we wrap up anything that could be possibly happening, potential build-ups, and this overall
crazy
breakdowns. We love this sport, and we here to talk about it with you guys.
But yeah, it's been real, guys. Slacking the soup. We'll see y'all next week. Buy Van PL apparel, and I'm out this bitch.